So this is a newer version to my car. How do you negotiate for a good deal on your dream car? I'll give a few tips in this video on how to do that, and I'll provide examples of what I did when negotiating for my Audi TT. So the first step in negotiating your dream car is to figure out what it is that you exactly want. It's like writing out a vision for your dream life. Now you're going to have to write out a vision for your dream car. Think about what kind of car you want, what model you want, what features do you want your car to have, what are you going to use it for? Do you want a new car or a used car? What is your price range? What is the maximum amount that you want to spend on a car? These are things you need to think through, do a bit of research, have a look around and see what you would enjoy driving and what would also cater to your lifestyle. I knew that I really wanted a sports car. I wanted something that I could drive, that I enjoyed driving, that I could cruise around in. My brother is obsessed with cars, and growing up I would always ride around with him and he would point out good cars to me and talk about all their different features. So I did have some background knowledge about cars, and I knew that I wanted a Japanese or German car because they're known to be reliable, and these are the cars that I've driven before that I've really liked. I've worked really hard for what I have, and I was going to treat myself a little. I narrowed it down to the Lexus RC and the Audi TT. Those were my two cars. Those were the cars that I noticed when I was driving on the road, and I thought they were beautiful cars. I knew that I needed to go visit the car dealership and test drive these cars, do my research, look into the different specifications, the different features, what was good value for money. I looked at online reviews of what people were saying about these cars. I even watched YouTube videos. I had to ask my brother a lot of questions because he understands cars way better than I do. I found all the local dealerships that I could drive to that had the used Audi TTs. I wanted a newer used car, and I didn't want too much mileage on it. So once you define what you want and you set the price that you're willing to pay for it, it's time to organize financing. Either you have the cash up front to pay for it, then you don't have to deal with getting a loan approval, so that's pretty sweet. If you do need to get financing in order, make sure to call a couple of different places and get quotes for the best rate. I didn't have the money up front right away, so I looked around for a good deal. Luckily, with a co-signer, I was able to get a rate from Bank of America for 2.99%. That was pretty good for me, but I know other people who have gotten an even better deal than that. I think because I didn't have a long credit history, I was at a disadvantage for getting a lower interest rate. So once I had a pre-approval letter from Bank of America to finance the car, I set out to look for the different car dealerships that offered the car that I wanted used. I went to go visit these dealerships and look at these cars in person and test drive them to make sure that they were okay. And I knew that I was going to negotiate and get a quote from these different dealerships to get the best price possible. I purposely put the car that I really liked best last because I wanted to have a few other offers just so that I was in a better negotiating position. If they didn't have a certain feature I wanted, I would say I'd like to negotiate a lower price due to these specific reasons. There's higher mileage, it's an older car, it doesn't have the upgraded features that I want. So I was able to negotiate as best as I could at each location. I never agreed to any price that I negotiated. I said that I needed to think about it, and I was still looking at other cars as well. I made sure that they knew that I wasn't set on any car, because once they can feel that you're desperate or excited, they will definitely play on that and say things like, oh, this car is really popular. We can't keep this price for you. We're gonna need you to lock it in today. And these are tricks that they use to get you to buy it now. But I made it very clear up front that I was still looking at other cars and I wasn't set on this one, but I was willing to negotiate anyway. I also brought my brother and my parents with me because I needed an extra set of eyes to look at the cars in as much detail as possible. I also needed some reinforcements because I thought that they would take advantage of a girl who they thought didn't know anything about cars. I came in there full force. I wanted them to know that I knew my shit, that I know what I'm talking about, and they couldn't get anything past me. But it was even better that I had other people with me who knew even more than me and who had the experience of negotiating and buying a car, so they couldn't take advantage of me. With the maximum price that I was willing to pay, I said, hey, this other dealership is willing to offer this for me and it has these features. I would highlight the positive features of the other cars that this car might not have, but really I didn't really care about it. But I would leverage the positive points of the other cars to negotiate the price of this car down. Remember, the biggest point I want to emphasize is that I was always willing to walk away if they couldn't give me the maximum price that I was willing to pay with all the features that I wanted. There are plenty of cars out there, and I knew that if I set my eyes and heart only on this one car, I was at a disadvantage. But I do want to point out that if they're not willing to give you the price that you want, when you walk away, not all hope is lost. I have heard that if you walk away and just thank them, there are car dealers that will actually call you back in the next couple of days to give you that price. So sometimes it's even better to walk away to get that deal that you want. Remember, if they don't call you back, that's okay. There's plenty of fish in the sea. If it doesn't happen, then it wasn't meant to be. Once you finally negotiated a price that both of you are happy about, and remember, this may take a little bit of back and forth. I said one price and the sales guy said this price, and I said no because of this, this, and this, and he said let me speak to my manager. He'll go away for a bit, come back, and meets me halfway. But then I say, because of these features, I think that it's worth this price. And he goes, let me speak to my manager. He goes away, comes back and lowers it just by a little. And I say, I want it at this price. And if that doesn't work for you, that's okay. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, but that's not gonna work for me. And I'm about to leave, and then he goes, fine, fine, fine. Wow, you're one tough cookie. I think that I should get a good deal on the car. And really, I think I could have negotiated more. It was just my first time, and I think next time I'll definitely do better. After you've settled a price, they bring in someone else. The sales guy or girl brings in finance team, even if you have a pre-approval letter from somewhere else, from another institution, because here is their chance to sell you on something else. Here's just another opportunity for them to make money. This guy that came in, he looked over the pre-approval letter that I had with Bank of America, and he said, oh wow, that's a good interest rate that they're offering you. He asked if he could see if Audi could give me a better rate, which they weren't able to. Their rate was 4.99%. And with a big purchase like a car, that definitely adds up. So I said, no, thank you. So don't let these people emotionally manipulate you if it doesn't make sense financially. They're really good at it, but a really good salesperson will want to make you a sale that's in your best interest, that's not going to put you in a huge amount of debt, that makes sense for you and your lifestyle. Another thing I learned from this experience that is a mistake of mine is that once you agree on a price and financing option, you have to sign a lot of documents to actually get the car. Audi needed to go speak to Bank of America to make sure everything is in place and that they'll get their money. And then they make you sign a whole bunch of documents. And at that time, my mistake was that I was in a rush to go somewhere else, so I was trying to finish the paperwork quickly. Next time, I would make sure that I have plenty of time for that so that I could read through and understand all the fine details. My need to go somewhere else quickly led to me signing up for added insurance that I didn't need, that just added onto the cost of my car, which is part of their sales tactic and is how they make more money. Next time, I'm going to leave plenty of time to sign the documents, read through everything, ask all the questions that I need to ask to make sure I don't make that same mistake again. All right, so we've gone through a lot of things. So to negotiate your dream car, let's review it one more time. Step 1 is to define exactly what you want. Write out your vision for your dream car. Step 2 is to do your research. Step 3 is prepare financing. And step 4 is to go to multiple car dealerships and negotiate for the car price and features that you want, and use that as leverage to negotiate for your final offer. And finally, step 5 is to read through all the papers, ask questions, understand what you are signing for, and make sure you understand what they're trying to sell you. With those steps, I really believe you can negotiate the best price for your dream car. And remember, it takes practice. You'll just get better every time you do it. I don't know how many cars you need, but I know that I definitely like cars, and this is not going to be the last time that I'll be negotiating for my dream car. I hope this video was informative. It's something that I learned so much from doing. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're staying safe and healthy. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thanks everyone. Bye.